What's going on, y'all? Carlito here, back with another video on your screen. I'm here with my boy Nick, Nunanboy Promotions, straight out of Australia. Always giving me a free shake. You know it's gonna be dope. And I appreciate your time, bro. And thank you for sitting down with me today. You know, how are you been doing?
Man, I've been good. I've been really, really busy. Lots of media, lots of boxing. We're 3 weeks out. Team Ferocious, Kambosos versus Haney, June the 5th, Melbourne Marvel Stadium. Man, it's all going down. So it's exciting times.
I bet. You know, what was your take on, Charlo Castaño too?
Man, it was absolutely epic. I love Jamel Charlo. He's probably, it's hard when you work in the media to have favorite fighters, but we're all fans of boxing. He's in my top 2 or 3 favorite fighters, if not my most favorite fighter behind, some of the likes of some of the fighters down here. So, man, it was awesome. I thought the fight was going to do exactly kind of what it did. I thought Charlo would win by knockout, and that's what I betted on with the sports agency out here and won a little bit of money. So that was really, really good. But hats off to Castano as well. I thought Castano brought the pressure. I thought it left right off from Houston and it left right off in LA exactly it started in LA like it left off in San Antonio. Was it San Antonio, wasn't it? Yeah. Sorry, in San Antonio. So, man, it was epic. I had it a close fight after 6 rounds. I know some people had it 4-2 to Charlo. I didn't. I had it 3-3 to 3-3. So I had it even. And then I was just really, really impressed the way Charlo slowed the fight down in round 7. Yep. And completely made Castano miss a lot for that round. And obviously hit some really good precision shots through round 7, increased it in round 8. I think he started to hurt him more in round 9 and then obviously got the job done. And it was just amazing to be the 7th man ever in the history of the 4-belt era to go undisputed and the first person ever at super welterweight, man. Carlito, you're from Texas. It's just such a great time for Texas with Errol. It's such a great time, with Jamal at the moment. It's such a great time with Jamel. So, man, I couldn't be any prouder. I actually got a few messages from his partner. Shout out to Chai Rock and the whole Lions Only team. It's just, it's amazing. I've watched this kid since 2015. 2016. I saw him fight live back in 2017, 2018. And what a roller coaster just to see how good these guys are. And I classify Jamel Charlo a legend now. I think he'll go down in the Hall of Fame. And he's a legend in the sport of boxing.
For sure. And it's been a hell of a run, man. And I've been telling everybody, like, I haven't been taking any bets or anything like that. I've been trying to, like, mainly just pay attention to the whole fight and not be worried about this and that, and really doing this, this media stuff. And I just been like, man, everybody that I can talk to, man, I've been saying, the Charlos are the real deal. I love where Texas is at right now.
Yeah.
We got 2 brothers that are world champions in Houston, 2 brothers that are world champions here in San Antonio. And big shout out to Franco and Bam, hell of a dude.
Yeah, Bam, yeah.
I love where Texas boxing is at right now. And
100%.
And what do you take? What's your take on this next big fight coming up? With Tank and Rolly at the end of the month.
Man, I think it's going to be epic. Shout out to Mayweather Promotions. Heading back to New York, Barclays Center, May the 28th. Man, it's a big, big fight. May 27th, May 28th, I think here in Australia, 29th, sorry, here in Australia. Man, it's big. I think it's personal, Rolly hasn't got any love for Tank. Tank ain't got no love for Rolly. Mm-hmm. 2 completely different styles. In Rolly, completely very, very awkward. Tank, boxing IQ, second to none at that division. I think it's going to be an absolute, barn burner. I think it's going to be just on right from round 1 or round 2. And don't sleep on Rolly. If Rolly hits you, bro, they say in the Mayweather gym, if Rolly hits you, you stay hit. But they also tell me that, if you get hit by Tank, Tank can really put you to sleep as well. So I think stylistically, Tank should get it done. But I think it's a great fight, and I think it'll even get better as we get close to it. Obviously, this week we've got David Benavides fighting David Lemieux. I think that's going to be a great fight, and then a great way to lead in for obviously Gervonta Davis versus Roland Romero in New York City. Mayweather Promotions heading back to New York, doing a massive big show. Shout out to Leonard Allaby and the whole team there. It's going to be epic and one to remember.
It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. A few weeks more of boxing that.
Oh, yeah.
It is rolling through 6 weeks, and, talk about this buildup, gearing up for June 5th, Marvel live, Kambosos homecoming, and defending all the belts against Devin Haney. How do you, what's your honest opinion on everything that's going on over there right now?
I think George Kambosos is going to show everybody on June the 5th, again, how good he is, how much better he got since Teofimo, and he's going to continue to shock the people that don't know shit about boxing, and he's going to continue to make it very hard for everyone else in the 135-pound division to fight him. And he's going to fight this guy with a different style. He's got different artillery that he's bringing. He's a lot more powerful. He's a lot more quicker. And you know what? I like Devin Haney. A fight is a fight, but I love George Kambosos. You know what I mean? He's a massive priority to me of what he's done for me, covering boxing. You know what I mean? He's brought me in. It was funny. I was down doing some media with him in Sydney about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and our channel at Fight Night were rocking with George and Verlaine fight. Shout out to Frankie in LA. They were covering it, 2017, 2018, with George. Even actually 2016, 2017. So George is one that us at Fight Hype and particularly at Nunanboy Promotions, we've been covering a long time. We've never slept on him. We know how good he is. He's the face of Australian boxing. I put him in, pound for pound after this fight. Should he get through Devin Haney, he's got to be right up there. But, like Jamel was saying, fuck your pound for pound list, all this shit. Everyone's got different opinions. But when you become undisputed, like Jamel just did, and I think George will grab this other WBC belt on June the 5th, man, it's going to be epic. But it's great. It's going to be great having Devin Haney. Devin Haney has arrived in the country. It's great having his team down here. We haven't seen a big American fighter out here for a long, long time. You know what I mean? But he's the B side. George is the A side. And, man, it's going to be massive. Ticket sales, there's not many tickets left. It's going to be an absolute jam-packed crowd. It's going to be epic. And Ferocious Promotions, obviously co-sanctioned under the big promoter, DeBella Entertainment. Having Lou DeBella down here is absolutely fantastic as well. And Top Ranker coming in with a couple of fights with the Maloneys. So 2 of the Maloneys are going to fight on the undercard. But really, it's all showcased around George Kambosos versus Devin Haney. And the build-up's good. We're 3 weeks out. The build-up's been, semi-big, but I reckon this last 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks will be, extra bigger,
For sure. I bet it's exciting to see boxing, back in Australia, like mainstream boxing.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away from, the up and coming pros, that I see on your channel all the time.
On your
Instagram, they some hell of a fights. The clips I've seen and the promotions that you have been putting on over there. Hell of a job. And where do you feel how boxing is right now? Like being like not a fan, just a fan of boxing, but not, only one guy.
I think in Australia or in the world?
In the world.
I think in the world, it's hard to say because boxing, it's funny because when men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. And when you look at someone like Floyd Mayweather, he fought Conor McGregor, 4.6 million pay-per-views.
Yep.
Manny Pacquiao, 4.5 million. Oscar De La Hoya up over the 3.5. Mikel Cotto, 2.6. Canelo, 2.7, close to 2.8 million pay-per-view buys. Nobody's done that since Floyd. So we think now from a boxing perspective, and I think it is, boxing is massive digitally. I think it's digitally massive across the world. But when it comes down to pay-per-view stars, I don't think we've got one. We don't have a pay-per-view star now that I call like a pay-per-view star, which is like a Floyd Mayweather. And we don't have one. And, you know, like everyone can, and I think Canelo's great. Don't get me wrong. Canelo's great for the sport. And you know, he's right. I don't say he's the face of boxing though. You know, I mean, I like Canelo. But, you know, I mean, like what Jamel did on the weekend, Jamel's right up there. Jamel has to be close to the face of it. I think Errol Spence has to be close to the face of it. Tyson Fury has to be the close of it. You know, after George Kambosos beats Devin Haney, and even now George Kambosos, he's one of the faces of it in Australia. He is the face of it in Australia, but, in the Pacific world down here. You know, when I look at people like Triple G, who's still massive in places like Japan, Kazakhstan, Europe. So, but when it comes back to numbers, you think about a fighter right now that if he fought would do close to 1 million pay-per-view buys. There's not one. Now, is streaming a lot bigger now and illegal downloads? Yeah, it probably is bigger since Floyd fought, obviously, Conor McGregor back in 2017. But still, if it was just pure pay-per-view, is there a pay-per-view fighter now that's as big as Floyd? The answer is no. So I think boxing's more spread out, but I don't think we have anyone like a Floyd Mayweather in our sport at the moment.
Boxing here in Texas is making me excited against, you know, being a boxing fan again, especially seeing Bivol, you know.
How good was that?
You know, knock down this big, tall, you know, this massive name of Canelo, and, you know, showing boxing is real. And I've been on a high since that fight, and, you know, I loved every second of where boxing's at right now. And
it was a good fight.
Yeah, and then Undisputed in Houston, and, you know, I was on cloud.
Man.
It's been amazing, and then I can't wait for June 5th.
Oh, it's going to be epic.
All talks over here, David Haney and everything else, and I'm like, man, it's not going to be that easy, man. Like, Kambosos is a whole nother level, and you saw what he did to this so-called, you know, the King of New York. You know, it's not gonna be that easy, bro. But sure, if y'all want to see more of our interviews, you know, I'm gonna talk to him off camera, and get some knowledge of boxing, you know, off the net, and y'all go check them out. If you want to plug any of like your links in and where they can buy the fight, and if they want to, like, you know, go all the way over there and see it live.
Yeah, so the fight out here will be on Main Event for the Australian people, which is Main Event and Fox Sports. But for you guys back in America, you get it on ESPN. So you guys get it in San Antonio, Texas. You'll get it around about 8 o'clock at night. And then obviously in New York, it'll be coming on around about, I think the main show starts around about 10 o'clock. And for all our West Coast people back out in the Pacific, you'll get it around about 7 o'clock p.m. So ESPN there, but it's Ludabella Entertainment, co-sanctioned in with Ferocious Promotions. And I think this fight will be very, very largely watched in America. I think it'll do massive, massive views on ESPN, which is great. You know, I mean, I think ESPN are a fantastic platform, very different to Showtime. And obviously with the works that PBC do, very different again to DAZN. And obviously Fox Sports, PBC on Fox, which has been commonly known, which does a lot of shows in Texas. But I think ESPN, you'll be able to see it all over America, every single state, different times, like I said. But it'll be epic. And obviously for the people here in Australia, you'll have to buy it on Main Event. So it'll be epic.
Amen to that. Y'all go check out his links. Nunanboy Promotions on Instagram. You know, Fight Hype, the #1 platform on YouTube. And big shout out to Fight Hype, Nunanboy Promotions, Carlito, one love. Carlito, we out.